Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Tavernier. I'm doing my topic presentation today on India and Pakistan, a messy divorce and why. So the first slide is on British India and the partition. As you all know, once upon a time, Pakistan didn't become Pakistan until British India, known at the time as British Raj, was divided after many Muslims desired to have a place where they can practice their traditions and religion in peace. Later, they settled on a divided area north of what is now India and established that as Islamic Republic of Pakistan. During the time of the beginning periods of the split, there was much bloodshed and around 2 million people were killed. A lot of the deaths that did happen were en route to and from Pakistan, with the train carts arriving with tons of dead bodies, known as the blood trains. Two men named Allama Iqbal and Muhammad Ali Jinnah were the key instigators of helping Pakistan get on its feet. After what seemed like a good foundation with great leaders, Muhammad Ali Jinnah died about a year later after the Pakistan was getting settled and later led to not so great successors. Individual freedoms for Muslims and Hindus. Both leaders of Pakistan and India wanted their countries to be unified, even though they were now separated. Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted Muslims to be able to develop and grow spiritually, culturally, and economically in their own ways, and that was through being under their own nation. With India being ruled by another country for a very long time, they wanted their own freedom and wanted to have their own country belong to them again. India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, wanted nothing more than to give the people of India a message of hope and to be able to declare independence since the early movements in 1857. What part of the speech said that he delivered the night they became free was, "At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes which comes but barely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, finds utterance." Not long after, both countries regain their freedom. It comes with more hardship and death. Kashmir. India and Pakistan's battle of custody over the precious homeland. Kashmir, once part of British Raj, is the northernmost part of India. Claims over Kashmir started just after the 1947 partition. In 1948, trying to gain control of the land, Pakistan tries to force its way into Kashmir. Kashmir's leaders try to get help from India. However, India will only help if Kashmir is willing to yield to India. Kashmir's leader decides to do so. India goes in to help. What happens is the invasion gets blocked. It then leaves Kashmir, Pakistan, above the line of control, and Kashmir, India, below the line of control. About 24 years later, India and Pakistan both sign an agreement called Shimla, which says to settle their differences by peaceful means through bilateral negotiations or any other peaceful means mutually agreed upon between them. This basically explains that they will both not violate or change the boundary where the line is drawn upon. Later on in the late 1980s and 90s, it leads up to more feuds with each side and acts of violence, as well as interventions, elections, and other types of issues that create much more of a dispute between both India and Pakistan. Now you're kind of asking yourself, why does it have to be this way? After learning all this information, you might be asking this question to yourself. And the answer to that is you're right. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for two countries that used to be one to keep fighting and have so much hate. But then again, There are many other countries and civilizations throughout history that have had their issues and continue to fight or stop fighting, but at least have animosity towards one another. Like in Africa, between ethnic groups such as Tutsis and Hutus, and Scottish clans and the English have had their issues as well. And one more that I can think of is the US with their ongoing opposition with North Korea. I've learned it is best to learn from all these countries, learn from their mistakes, and try to do our best to be civil and not jump to conclusions about other countries, their beliefs, practices, and what their goals and expectations are within their own boundaries. I hope you were able to learn a little something about these two nations, and thank you for watching this presentation.